rolling, rolling, keep rolling, 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 keep rolling, 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 keep rolling, 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 rolling.
Good day, YouTubers. This is Jay from 21st Century Reviews. We're starting a new blog on this site to do some movie reviews and gaming reviews for all sorts of really cool video games and videos that we've all played and seen, but we're here to bring you some new and fun stuff, and hopefully you can get something out of it, and hopefully it'll give you the chance to check out some videos and whatever and see what we're all about. I decided today that since I'm your average nerdy type of person, that I'll just go ahead and start a review on one of my personal favorite movie series of all time. That would be the Star Trek movie series. And what better way to start a Star Trek movie series than to start with the motion picture, the one that started it all, on top of the fact that it's not only just the regular, but the director's cut. In my opinion, this is a movie that was made in the late 1970s. It was created by Gene Roddenberry, the creator of the original Star Trek series. It was 10 years after he had made the series and after it had been canceled off of NBC in 1968. The movie received quite a mixed reaction to audiences all over, so to my opinion the film never gets the credit that it's actually due. The film was directed by Robert Wise. He did other work such as the West Side Story movie and also The Day the Earth Stood Still. He's known for that as well. I always felt like the movie kind of captures that essence of a film that was created in the style of like 2001: A Space Odyssey or The Ten Commandments or Cleopatra, or a more modern sense like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I almost feel that the movie might have actually done better as a movie that was done as 2 movies or even 3 movies, just because of the depth of the story that it was giving. It had epic music scores, it had really slow pacing, which is one of its least redeeming qualities that most people were always really critical of with it, and so it didn't ever really get the credit that it was due for that reason. It had basically a return of all the main characters from the original series, people we could recognize right off the bat, but I mean it gave things like the Starship Enterprise itself had a great facelift done to it. The sceneries that you saw, everything from the V'ger cloud to the Klingons to everything else just had this major overhaul done to them, and you could tell the quality of what they were doing. They made it just an amazing looking cinematic, but the problem was it was well over 2 hours long, and most people just really didn't care to sit in the movie theater and watch a movie that was that long about Star Trek, quite frankly. All the characters, in a sense, were true to their form. Kirk was Kirk, Spock was Spock. All those characters basically maintained their normal kinds of styles that they did all the way through every incarnation that they ever made of Star Trek up to that point. It just, there was, like I said, there was a lot of things about it, like the musical interlude to it was just a starry scene moving through space with a really slow sounding orchestration that was done. It's really cool looking, but unless you can appreciate that, it's boring. That's why the movie doesn't get a lot of credit. It gets a lot of criticism for that purpose, just simply because a lot of those scenes, it's just like in 2001: A Space Odyssey. That movie doesn't even get interesting until it's about an hour away from conclusion, and you have to spend 90 minutes to get there. So it's really hard to really sit through it sometimes. Some of the other critiques for it were the uniform schemes used for this movie. It looked like something out of Leisure Suit Larry or something, with these real 70s kind of bell-bottomy hippie types of outfits that just everybody basically looked at and laughed at more than anything else. But to me, the thing about was compelling about the movie was just that it was about this giant spaceship going through space and destroying things in its path, trying to get to Earth. They send the Enterprise in to find out what's going on. The ship ends up discovering all along the way that this is actually a space probe from the planet Earth from the 20th century, and that it has come back to find those who created it. And quite frankly, I think that story is extremely compelling considering the fact that we've actually done the first part of that in real life. So to me, for them to jump ahead 300 years into the future and make it so that this is a storyline that, in a sense, is feasible is actually kind of compelling and interesting. So to me, that's one of the reasons why that it's not fair to me a lot of times that Star Trek the motion picture, whether you're watching the original or the director's cut, doesn't really get its fair shake, and why it doesn't really get a chance to really be considered an excellent film, because it does have some major failings that most people will sit there and zoom right in on and point out, and some of it's deserved and some of it's not. To me, it's always going to be a special movie to me because that's the movie I started watching when I was, knee-high to a grasshopper. So, I think it's, just one of those movies that, doesn't get a lot of credit, but the fact that they, did what they did with it and everything, I would tend to say that it makes it, just to me, that much more of an appreciated film. I can appreciate it more than some of the other people may be able to, and I don't know, there's just something about a giant killer, space vehicle that's trying to destroy the planet Earth that's just compelling, and I think we've seen enough other movies like that that are just as interesting. So this concludes the first review, other than to say that I always give this one a 3 out of 10 rating, just because of the fact that it does have some failings to it, and it's just better to basically give it that rating and just go with it from there. So I guess in a sense, this concludes the first review. We're going to be working on tweaking a few things and trying to see what ways we can get to capture some better essence here. So please feel free to leave commentary, leave your own review summaries, feel free to ask questions, give commentary, all that kind of good stuff. So thanks.
Message from the dead.